What's going on, guys? My name is Matt. I'm going to help you automate your fitness business. Now, today I'm going to be going over a bit of an interesting one, which is how to run a self-running fitness business in 2025. So this is videos for a very specific set of people, usually people who are completely run off their feet, maybe 100 or more clients, north of 100, struggling to remember all their names. Fulfillment is a pain. You're writing 60, 70, 80 new programs every couple of weeks, whatever it might be. But there is a world where you can actually have a self-running fitness business in 2025. And this is kind of crazy that people don't know this. And I think it is super underrated about how far you can take systems in your business. But right now I'm going to go through what you kind of need to think of when it comes to processifying your business. So there's a couple of things that I would need you to do before we go through everything, but I'm going to try and do it as much as I can in this video. So first things first is you need to document all of your processes. So the biggest thing is over here. So process documentation. Now the reason you want to do that the reason you want to document all your processes, you can't automate what you don't understand, and you can't automate what you don't know to a science, right? So process documentation is the act of going through your business and listing out every single thing that you do on a day-by-day basis, week-by-week basis, month-by-month, and year-by-year basis, and categorizing them into different areas of your business. Now, I've got 3 examples here, and you might have more, you might have less, it might be a bit different for you. However, acquisition, fulfillment, and admin/teams. So under acquisition, you might have something like create IG video, and you might also have create a Facebook ad campaign. And you might do those, I'm just going to shorten that so it doesn't eat across. And you might do those, every week, every day, every month. Then you might have other things like take sales call. And you might have update IG stories, right? So all of these things, stories. So all of these processes, nothing too big or too small that shouldn't be included in process documentation. Everything needs to be in there. So the easiest way that I found to do it is start by taking a log. So kind of like how you track your food. If you are doing a process, you just have a piece of paper or an app or notes or whatever it is, and you write down what the action is, the frequency, and I would probably put like a category as well of urgency. So is it business critical? Is it a nice to have? Or are you just doing it because you're procrastinating doing something else? So once you've got your process documentation, and I'm going to go through this a little bit more, but once you've got that, you can really start to build out your frameworks and like your automation. So you'll have like your business here, and then you'll have like this mind map of different areas of your business. And you'll have like different areas, and then they'll have things coming off there too. And if you're if you're a visual learner, then doing a mind map is probably a good idea. However, if you're not a visual learner and you just want to list them out, you can do that as well. So once you've got your process documentation, you can then start looking at ways that you can automate them. So with acquisition, I'm going to use these examples we've got here, and then fulfillment, I'm going to add in some things here. So we've got like onboarding, we've got program writing, and we've got, let's say, like client accountability, so like messages, and we've got, let's say, like group calls. So automating a business entirely is a little bit impossible. It's not 100% impossible, but it's a little bit impossible. But if you are a business that uses you as the figurehead, it's going to be very, 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 very unlikely you're going to be able to completely step away entirely. However, there's a lot of things that you can do. Just wanted to say that. So admin and teams, let's say like daily meetings. Let's go with reports. So like financial reports. Let's say like what's the word, debt collection. So when people don't pay their fees, and let's say forecasting, for example. All right. Actually, no, I don't want to do forecasting. Let's just say tax management. Cool. Sweet. So what you would then do is you would have all of your process documentation listed under different headings, and then you would start looking at these different sections, different like headers, and you would see where your lowest hanging fruit are. So your lowest hanging fruit are areas where it's not going to take you long to automate them. Usually it's the easiest and most repeatable tasks. So for example, let's say onboarding is probably our lowest hanging fruit here. I'm going to say yes, it is. So lowest hanging fruit is onboarding. I don't think I have a way to denote that. I'm just going to put this in a little box. And what you would then do is you would take your onboarding and you would enter phase 2 over here, which is like process breakdown. Process breakdown. And what you would then do is you would list out every single step that you take in your client onboarding. So the first one might be, fill out form. The second one might be add user to trainerize. The third one might be add user to billing software, right? And you'll end up having a process breakdown for every single one of your actions in your business. Now, what you then can do is look at whether or not this can be taken over by a human or if this can be taken over by a person. Because automation, yes, it does imply that it's like a system that's doing it. But technically, if you have people in place as well, it's like automation and systems. So there's two things you can have there to do it. So people and systems is what's going to get you to a self-running fitness business. So once you've got your process breakdown, you have all of the information that you need to start connecting the dots. So it might start off with your form at the top here, and the next step is add them on Trainerize. So this is like an arrow. The next step from here is then add them to your billing software, and then you might add them to like a client management software. You might add them to that's nifty. You might add them to various other locations using something like Zapier, right? And now that process that used to take you 2 to 3 days, signing contracts, all that kind of stuff, it might only take you less than half an hour if you're still waiting on people to fill out things manually, right? So that is probably the lowest hanging fruit in all of these. Now, of course, they get a little bit more complicated as we move along, but I want to show you a complicated one. So we're going to go through that now together as well. So onboarding, yes, very easy to flesh out. Still complicated, but easy to flesh out. The next one is going to be, let's go with create a Facebook ad campaign. So your steps for creating a Facebook ad campaign might be 1, message on 1st of every month, ad guy. So you might have an ad guy. And then 2 might be wait for reply with ad guy's creative. 3, tell him it's bad and revise. And then 4, wait for reply and approve. And then 5, ad guy creates campaign, right? So this is very simplified, but I just want to show you where I'm going. You'll see in a sec. Campaign. Cool. So this here is a process on your behalf, but it's also a process on their behalf. So your responsibilities here is to message him in the first place. It is to tell him it's either good or bad. So there's an approval process. And there is another approval process at 4, and then ad guy creates a campaign. So I'm just going to erase this. So 2 and 5 aren't necessarily your process, right? However, you can have a system around that. Now, the way that you would do something like this is take a project management system like an Airtable or a ClickUp or a Monday.com, and you would then build in your own creative management system, so ads management. So what you would have is, this is like what ClickUp kind of looks like. You would have these different sections of, let's just make this actually decent. You would have these different sections where you can, send a automated message every month to your ad guy saying, hey, let's get some new creative started. And what that could do is could create a card in your project management system. So this first one here, that is like new ads. So like new. And then when he submits his creative, it gets added to this one here. And then this is going to do a little box. So C for creative. And then you either have like an approve or deny button. And if it's approve, it goes through to this next one here. So it moves across. And if it's denied, it like goes back here and moves between the project management system. So it's essentially using a tool to manage these approvals and denials, right? And this is not going to be super easy to build out, but it takes some time. However, what used to take you a manual effort of back and forth, trying to send replies, follow-ups, all that kind of stuff, you now have housed in a contained container, really, that you can just jump on and either click approve or deny. And it does what it needs to do. And this first message would be on a schedule. So every month it creates a new message. And what it does, it takes your once very, very manual process and automates like 60% of it, right? And your workload is cut by 60%. So cut by 60, right? So this is an example of a more advanced one, which could be putting you off like doing this and systemizing it because you're like, oh, it's too hard to do. But it's actually not that bad once you build it out or you have someone do it for you. It's easy to do it with someone like me where you just dictate what you want done and then it gets done. That's a good one. Let's just back this up. Cool. And that's our ad guy example. Maybe I'll do one more just to break it down a little bit further so you guys are getting a good insight to it. Let's do all right, daily meetings. So you might have a one-on-one call with your VA every week, right? Every week. And with that, you may talk about a certain agenda that they want to set, or you might just have a catch-up. It could be just anything. But you schedule these at the start of every week. So it takes you 15 minutes to go through and set these all up by yourself. Instead of doing that, it's literally just a matter of creating a reoccurring, oh God, I can't even do that. Right? A reoccurring event on your calendar, right? Which can, then you can, when it's created, so this is the calendar event, you could have an automated email send off a form to your employee with anything they want to cover on the meeting. So you have an agenda beforehand, right? And that could then, that information could be packaged up and then added to the calendar details of the upcoming event, right? So this is for a one-on-one weekly meeting. So it's just a little thing that you can start to take off your own hands and become more prepared for the meeting without having to ask the questions on the actual meeting itself. So the meeting becomes more productive. All right. So I know I kind of went astray with this, but self-running business in 2025 is not 100% achievable. But you can take what you normally do on a day-by-day basis and you can cut it down severely so that the things that you only really have to focus on are like content and people management. right? All of the coaching, the onboarding, the program writing, accountability, sales calls, Instagram stories, ad campaigns, IG videos, reporting, debt collection, tax management, all of that can be offset to either a system or a person. So hope you guys found this one insightful, a little bit different than my normal kind of video, but I will speak to you again soon.